This terrifying video begins with the men heading back to their canoe while engaging in a verbal game in an effort to amuse themselves. As they continue playing their game, the camera suddenly gets a glimpse of a terrifying stalker who after a while proceeds to do something frightening.
That's pretty good already, I guess. Not bad. Whoa, bear, bear! Whoa!
Dodging the bear in time, they get into a standoff where the animal refuses to retreat despite their shouting, raising their hands, and at one point even walking up to it.
Hey, yeah, you go, bear. You go. You go. Yeah, that's right.
Thankfully, the sticks they picked up kept the bear from approaching, allowing them to reach their canoe and leaving no one hurt in the encounter. At the beginning of this clip, a woman in her later years can be seen peacefully taking a nap, not expecting to see her worst nightmare when she wakes up. Shocked and confused, she jumps out of her seat and puts distance between her and the animal, but ultimately stands her ground. Thankfully, the bear got scared and ran away from the encounter, leaving no one harmed. In eastern British Columbia, an adventurous hiker almost had a heart attack after coming face to face with an unexpected guest on the trail. At the start of the video, the nature lover is seen running down a rather narrow trail while recording his experience on a GoPro attached to his chest.
Coming up on your left. Thanks.
For quite a while, all appears to be going smoothly, and then, out of nowhere, a giant grizzly bear pops out and does this. Frightened by the sight of the predator charging at him, the hiker immediately picks up the pace and starts sprinting away as fast as he can. The video comes to an end as the man, thankfully, seems to have managed to escape from that situation unharmed. This short yet terrifying video captures a man recording a black bear climbing down a tree after seeing him. Despite the predator reaching the bottom in a flash, he stands his ground, which makes the bear do this.
No. You better get.
The predator stops in its tracks after he fires a warning shot. Luckily, the clip ends as the animal is seen running off. On a seemingly average expedition in Greenland, a group of researchers had their day turn into a living nightmare when they were dangerously approached by a hungry polar bear. Before anything, things seem to be going well as they prepare to leave their camp when they suddenly spot the predator lurking a few hundred feet away.
Oh, he's really checking us out now. If he does get close, we're exactly right for me to use the bear spray because it's downwind. Yeah, I honestly think he's going to walk past us.
After a few stressful minutes, the hungry polar bear unfortunately gets way too close for their liking, and they bravely decide to try and scare it away.
Do you want to put the flare off?
Yeah.
With everyone there now seriously worried for their safety, the animal continues to calmly roam around their camp for a few more minutes, but eventually loses interest and simply swims away from them altogether. While floating down a river towards their next camp, Fred Eichler and company came across 3 bear cubs and 1 angry mother bear. At the start of the video, Fred's team can be seen riding the river when they come across 3 bear cubs. While moving forward, they unfortunately come too close to the cubs, which angered someone else previously hidden in the thick bushes.
Come on. Let's go. Get out of here.
Thankfully, the large mother bear got scared of the shot and ran away from them. During a hunting trip in Saskatchewan, one man got the experience of a lifetime after he came face to face with a hungry black bear. The clip begins with the man recording a video of the animal climbing up a tree where he was initially settled. He sits still while he records the predator getting closer and closer as it eventually reaches the top, striking him with fear. With incredible calmness, the brave hunter manages to keep his composure despite being in an extremely dangerous situation. Fortunately, the bear eventually loses interest in the hunter and it climbs down, leaving him breathless. What this man thought to be a drunk roommate coming home and stumbling around turned out to be something much more terrifying. The clip starts off with the cautious man recording a huge and hungry predator walking around his living room.
We have a bear inside of our house right now. We have a bear inside of our house. Holy.
A few seconds after he started recording, the bear notices him recording from the stairs, leaving it with no choice but to run after him. As the bear makes its way upstairs, he runs to his room and looks back one last time, only to see this.
Oh God, wait.
Shut that. Whoa! Oh my God!
After reaching his room, he talks with his scared roommate, who tells him that the predator went back downstairs. Unfortunately, the clip ends abruptly, and what happens next remains unknown. In a residential area in Canada, a man was nearly attacked by some unexpected guests. The video opens with a man hearing some weird sounds in his backyard and heading down to check it out with his camera in hand. On reaching his backyard, the homeowner sees not one, but a family of 3 bears roaming around.
Stay.
Immediately, the mama bear spots the man, whom she considers a threat. She quickly motions for her cubs to climb the trees for safety, and then she does this.
Hey, guys.
Moments later, the 3 bears are seen leaving the premises. In Yamal, Siberia, a group of unsuspecting workers were having a fun time feeding a hungry polar bear when things suddenly went south. Initially, the camera starts rolling right as the men attempt to lure the animal closer by safely feeding it from a raised platform.
Пора чухать, ёпта, сейчас он точно, блядь. Давай-ка на буровую его еще не будем, бля, подавать. Ох, бля, Саня, аккуратней, блядь.
At some point, one of the men very bravely decides to walk down the stairs to feed the predator from closer when the unimaginable happens.
Отец, блядь, хуйней не занимайся. Конечно, блядь. Уйди! Ёбаный в рот, блядь! Ты чё, отец, ёбаный? Уходи оттуда.
Now, finally, worried for their safety, the men make sure to remain on the platform as the animal keeps roaming around for a few more minutes to eventually walk away completely. Along the Aleutian Island chain, a skinny dipping experience took a shocking turn when a frightening brown bear came along and ruined the fun. At the start of the video, an explorer explains that she had been bathing naked in a nearby river when a bear suddenly appeared and did this.
I was having a naked shower in this river and a bear came. Hey! Off! Ah, go away!
Frightened, the female adventurer and her friend attempt to shoo away the bear by shouting, but the unfazed predator simply ignores them and picks up the pace.
He carried on coming and had a little sniff of my clothes and shampoo.
In one final attempt, the now desperate woman begins to throw rocks at the approaching animal, and that does the trick.
Ran when I started throwing pebbles at him. Rocks, not pebbles, rocks. This is really stupid to be camped next to a river.
Luckily for the women, the bear turns around and runs into the bushes. At the beginning of this frightening encounter, an enormous black bear can be seen following the scent of a man resting in a tree stand. After seeing the ladder leading to his scent, the man realizes the grave danger he is in when the predator decides to do this. As soon as the animal climbs a few steps, the hunter makes his presence known, which stops the bear from climbing further.
Hey, what are you doing there? What are you doing there?
It then goes down and runs away, leaving the hunter safe and unharmed. What these tourists thought was supposed to be a heartwarming encounter with a mother bear and her two cubs quickly turned into a terrifying experience. At the start, the encounter begins with a few tourists taking pictures and admiring the animals that are only a few feet from them. With only a park ranger keeping this encounter from being a horrifying disaster, the mood quickly changes after the mother bear does this. After spraying the animals, another park ranger proceeds to throw rocks at the bears to drive them away from the road. Luckily, all the bears retreat back into the forest, and the tourists proceed to move on with their adventure safely. A man got the scare of a lifetime after he saw something horrifying while hunting in the vast Alaskan forest. The video picks up with the hunter walking and looking at the sky, attempting to find his next bird catch. While going deeper and deeper into the forest, he eventually looks down, only to see an unexpected visitor staring right at him.
Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Get out of here, bear. Get out of here, bear.
Out of nowhere, the bear suddenly turns and starts running around the nearby trees, but the hunter refuses to let his guard down as he's not completely out of danger yet. Towards the end, the hunter manages to arrive at the camp where his friend is staying, effectively losing the stalking animal. While camping in the snowy mountains, a man and his loyal companion became the target of a double grizzly bear attack. At the beginning of this video, we can hear the man screaming at the top of his lungs to prevent his poor dog from approaching the bears up ahead.
Rita, get over here! Get over here, Raina! Raina! Raina, come here! Raina! Come here!
He calls his dog several times, but to no avail. He then proceeds to walk closer to his dog, despite the predators being only a few meters away.
Raina, can you please come here? Raina, come here. Get over here. Raina!
His dog doesn't stop going closer to them, so the man, left with no other choice, runs to his dog in order to tie it to a leash.
Well, smart bears. Raina, get over here. All that noise, jeez.
Luckily, no one was harmed during the encounter, and they both return to their tent, as the bears are nowhere to be seen. What he thought was going to be a good morning started grim after this unlucky camper woke up to the sight of a large black bear searching for breakfast. The intense video starts as the man immediately picks up his camera after noticing the curious animal sniffing the outside of his tent.
No.
Despite the large predator being so close to him, the man keeps his calm and even gets the courage to do something that is sure to give you an adrenaline rush. As the brave man stands in a face-off with the bear, it walks up on him, eventually getting only a few inches away from him. Thankfully, the bear eventually leaves him alone after a frightening 10 minutes, prompting him to quickly evacuate the area. A cold, windy day in Russia, two men had their camping trip cut short when a curious polar bear unfortunately decided to pay them a visit. Originally, they quickly pick up their camera after spotting the sneaky predator slowly approaching their campsite from up ahead.
Og så midt I frokosten da, hæ? Nei, vent litt. Den jo svær.
With the predator refusing to leave them alone, one of the men suddenly comes up with a solution to hopefully scare it off.
Skyter på.
Luckily, the animal gets the message and ends up running off back into the wild. In the beginning of this clip, a bear can be seen entering a house through a window that was left open while no one was home. Throughout the video, the bear can be seen exploring the house and roaming around, seemingly looking for something to eat. At one point, the animal is even seen awkwardly trying to scratch itself on the side of a kitchen counter. Luckily for the family, the bear made its way back out before they got home. In Saskatchewan, a pair of friends had a horrifying day when they encountered a black bear that didn't seem to be intimidated by their presence at all. The video starts out with two men in the wild observing their surroundings from the safety of a tree while one of them records the experience. While looking around, the explorers spot a black bear nuzzling up to a blue tank, and they begin to focus on it silently. Suddenly noticing that it is being watched, the bear snaps its neck in the direction of the men and proceeds to do the unthinkable.
Hey.
Now in such proximity to the bear, the men decide to stay still and quiet so as not to attract its attention. Luckily for the men, the bear does not look in their direction, and after a few minutes it returns to the ground, leaving them to their own devices. A group of friends got the experience of a lifetime after they encountered a large, hungry predator in search of food on a rural Russian road. This intense clip starts off with a group of friends recording a bear trying to go inside a parked, but occupied truck.
Давай покурим. Пирожок, где пирожок?
Despite the dire situation, they make so much noise to get the attention of the predator that they unfortunately attract it towards them.
На. Ну, держи. Да, держи. Смотри, какой красивый. На. Гуляй там.
After the animal goes back into the bushes, they follow with the goal of petting it and giving it more food.
Ну это что-то дохлый какой-то, он тот по пище был. Вон мамаша, смотри, выходит. Что-то он какой-то злой.
At first, everything seems to be going well, as the bear does not seem to mind the driver, yet moments later, something unexpected happens.
Ясен хуй, ты чё, блядь?
Surprisingly, the driver's fingers remain intact, despite the situation they put themselves into. What was supposed to be a quick hike through the Claremont Wilderness Park quickly became fuel for nightmares after Chad Bruce, a hiker, encountered a large grizzly bear. The video begins by showing us short clips from his trip at a wilderness park, but a few clips later, something extremely horrifying can be seen following him.
Baby fox.
Hello.
Got a major bear. Holy crap.
An enormous grizzly bear seems to be following him, and despite only being a few feet away from the animal, the hiker manages to remain calm throughout the ordeal.
Pretty fella. Really don't want to mess with him though. Kind of want to pet him like a little puppy.
After securing the distance to be able to go behind the bear, he continues to follow it, enabling him to warn another unaware hiker.
Better get off the trail, homie.
Hey, there's a big bear right here. Just so you know, there's a big bear.
Thankfully, the bear was docile, and no one was harmed in the encounter. While on a grizzly bear hunting expedition in British Columbia, Steve Rinella and Ryan Callahan were forced to protect themselves by doing the unthinkable. At the start of the video, the two men are attempting to reach the top of a small, isolated mountain range in order to get better visibility. On reaching the top, the explorers catch sight of a grizzly bear and her 3 cubs, devouring some nearby blueberry bushes.
What's going on? And all of a sudden, like, out of our side view comes, like, not just one bear, but 4 of them. It's a sow packing 3 little spring.
At first, the men manage to go unnoticed while watching from a distance. Sadly, that does not last long, because the mother spots them and starts approaching.
You're barking at us?
Yeah. Hey, Mom! Take your kids and go. See her? Hey, Mom! She just came through this gap. She's coming this way.
Realizing that they are in impending danger, the men start trying to scare off the vicious bear by shouting, but their attempt proves futile. Left with no other choice, the now desperate men pull out their guns and do this.
Hey, Mom! Hey!
Callahan is shooting out in front of her, and she doesn't care at all. I'm gonna kill this sow. And she spun.
Eventually, the mother bear and her cubs retreat into the bushes. This terrifying video from Turkey begins with a man staring at something unusual. As some moments passed, that unusual thing turned out to be the worst beast he could encounter there. The man immediately fled the scene, but his dog clashed with the hungry bear in the snow. Both the animals exchanged blows, but the bear sadly outpowered the dog. In the end, the bear was left alone in the frame, as the man had already fled the scene, and the dog also took to his heels. Nonetheless, the encounter was indeed petrifying, and I am happy everyone made it out alive. A supposedly long and drawn-out hunt almost ended in the most gruesome way imaginable after the hunter became the hunted. This terror-striking encounter begins with the man recording a bear trying to sniff him out from the ground under his little tree stand. Moments later, the bear spots him and doesn't waste any time and proceeds to climb up towards the hunter with a menacing look. Fortunately, the bear goes back down, giving the man the chance to grab his shotgun and pepper spray. Expecting the worst, he prepares and aims down his weapons as the bear decides to pull off one terrifying move.
Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Down, bear. Get down.
Thankfully, the hungry bear gets the message and leaves him alone, ending the close call. While hiking Mount Roberts in Juneau, Alaska, two men came face to face with an extremely curious black bear. This nerve-wracking clip opens with one of the hikers trying to scare off the animal while recording the ordeal on his camera.
You got the camera? Yep, it's rolling. Ah, well, that's cool. Hey. No.
Instead of running off like the men expect it to, the predator continues to approach them at a steady pace, forcing them to slowly retreat.
Go on.
Hey, fella.
Go on.
This encounter stretches on for quite some time, but eventually the animal seems to lose interest in the men and decides to venture into the nearby bushes in search of food. Taking advantage of the bear's distracted state, the hikers pull out their bear spray and wait for the animal's next move.
And then, all right, well, let's keep going here. Let's give him a little bit of space.
Since the animal fails to make a move, the hikers decide to continue their trip. In northern Manitoba, YouTuber Frank Wolf and his wife had a sudden visit from a few polar bears that took an extremely unfortunate turn. At first, they begin recording the beast along with two others behind it begin walking right towards their cabin from the river up ahead.
Right there, look at that, right in front of us here. Right here. What are you doing, buddy? Are you curious? You want some man meat? You want to come up to the door here?
Unfortunately for them, the curious animal decides to start fiddling around their camp and suddenly begins chewing on their canoe.
Hey. Not the canoe, buddy. Yeah, you don't chew in the canoe. Yeah, he's trying to chew in the canoe, this guy here. Hey, don't chew on the canoe. Yeah. I'm gonna bring my shotgun out on you, buddy.
After many frustrating minutes, the man decides to take matters into his own hands and runs to grab his shotgun in hopes of scaring the predators away.
There he is. Get rid of him right now.
There they go.
Effective.
The bears thankfully end up sparing the man to move along from the area completely, leaving them both standing there in disbelief. A hunter in America got the experience of a lifetime after an extremely curious bear decided to come check him out from up close. Watch to see what the hunter did. This unbelievable video starts with the two hunters scouting the area in search of their next target. After a few minutes, one of the men sees a large, black, shadowy figure in the distance and decides to walk up ahead to grab a closer look. What is finally confirmed to be a black bear now starts dangerously approaching the armed man and eventually comes face to face with him and his gun. Will the hunter shoot? Keep watching to find out. After the intense stare down, the animal appears to lose interest in the hunter and decides to let him go, leaving both men in complete disbelief. In Yellowstone National Park, a group of tourists saw their lives flash before their eyes after some bears went rogue. In the beginning of the video, a group of tourists are moving alongside a family of bears on what appears to be a bridge. At first, the tourists simply pick up the pace. However, when they realize that things are getting out of hand, they begin to run to the safety of their cars. At one point, the bears seem to be retreating, but they soon turn right back around, causing the film crew to retreat. Thankfully, all the humans and bears make it through the encounter unharmed. This nail-biting encounter begins with a family entering their house amid a calm background. After a few moments, two bears come into the camera frame, who walked before the house and out of the camera's range to the other side of the alley. The blood-curdling moments began when a woman, completely unaware of the presence of wild bears, came out of the house and went her way, but there was a disaster waiting to happen. The lady tried balancing herself on the slippery steps while locking the gate when the two bears were seen chasing her. It was her lucky day. She didn't get caught by those wild animals and went safely inside. A man came face to face with death after he encountered a large mother black bear with cubs hiding in the trees during his hike in the Appalachian Trail Conservancy. The intense encounter starts with a man recording his hike when suddenly he stops in his tracks after seeing something between the trees.
That wasn't a Florida bear. Oh, there he is, right over here. All right, buddy. All right. There you are. I'm going.
After seeing the enormous black bear staring at him, he stops and slowly backs up a few inches from the animal in order to compose himself.
Just see what this bear wants to do. Because we're getting close to the point where I'm going to have to I'm gonna have to use force.
Despite the presence of the bear, he resorts to walking forward once again as slowly as possible, hoping not to anger or startle the mother bear as he passes by.
I'm going this way. You just stay where you're at. There you go. There you go, buddy. You stay where you're at.
Luckily for him, the predator lets him pass through and go on safely.